Harvie S., and we are here at Harvie's Corner in Kolstein, NYC. And this is a new podcast kind of highlighting the lifeblood of New York music scene, all kinds of bass players that really keep the music alive and that play with so many great players and that don't always get the recognition. So we just want to spotlight some of these great musicians and get to hear their stories. So we have here a wonderful bassist who was originally born in Russia, right?
St. Petersburg, Russia, yes.
And he's here now and been here for a long time. And his name is Dmitri Kolesnik.
Kolesnik.
How do you pronounce it?
Kolesnik.
Kolesnik. You know, I'm Russian.
Is that right?
My grandparents are from Russia,
man.
So I shouldn't mess up your name.
So
my name's always been messed up.
So is a lot of jazz musicians have this Russian-Polish roots.
Yes.
Like Bill Evans, Stan Getz, and so on. Benny Goodman. You know.
Yeah. Dave Liebman, Richie Byrack.
Oh, is that them too?
Yeah, they're all from that area. Yeah.
Well, big country.
Great
country.
Area. Well, great. A lot of musicians from Russia.
Yeah.
So anyway, great. Well, it's so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, we can go online and read about you. So we don't need to do that and you tell your whole history. But what are you doing now?
Playing bass.
Oh, I know that.
Pretty much every night and every day practicing, writing music. I have this, fortunate to have this gig every Monday night at a place called Russian Vodka Room on 52nd Street, where I lead my trio for about 20-something years now.
Wow. You have a real steady gig in New York.
Right. And I have a chance in the first set play originals of mine, and then the people come and can sit in, or it's more like we play standards. But the first set is every Monday. Bring some stuff.
And Andy Pastorino, our friend,
he was there. He played there, yes. And Steve Little played, and Bernard Linnet, and my daughter, who is 19 years old, a young drummer.
Congratulations!
She's at William Patterson right now on the second year, and she's a wonderful drummer. So
wow. And yes. Steve Little has always been one of my heroes.
Steve is fantastic.
And his mother called him Bill.
Yes.
The Duke Ellington record.
Yes,
oh, God, I love Steve Little. Please
yes.
give him my best. I never got to meet him or play with him.
Is that right?
But someday I just want to meet him.
Yeah, I actually played with him quite a bit during pandemic. Because when everything shut up,
of course,
March of 2020, it was all of a sudden after 5, 6, 7 gigs a week, it was nothing. And for a while, it was so. I thought that's it, nothing will come back anymore. But somehow, slowly, we decided to go to the park, and we played in the park, and people were so grateful to hear music because there was nothing, and we were really having great time to playing for them, and we felt the love from people. It was one of the greatest moments.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, during that time I did similar things, because certainly my book suddenly became completely blank, no gigs, nothing.
Yeah.
So good. So you're busy, you're playing and doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
And so now you come from Russia. How old were you when you came here? Approximately.
Let's just skip the.
Let's skip that time. Okay, but you know, when you were in Russia, you got into jazz.
Yes. My dad was an amateur piano player. He actually was doing some gigs when he was in his 20s. But he always loved jazz, and he had, we didn't have records because you couldn't buy records, so we had tape reel to reel, and that's what he was doing. We were living in one room. In Soviet Union, with my mother and me, and as soon as I go to bed, he would listen to records, to tapes.
Now, was that during communist times?
Yeah.
So, was it legal?
It was illegal.
Were you breaking the law, listening to jazz?
It was at that time. It was legal, but you couldn't get the records unless you knew somebody.
I see. Okay.
You had to go to somebody's house and make a tape with your tape recorder.
Right.
And so tape from the tape. You have not a great copy, but it was, my dad had all the best, which is still my favorites, like Ella, Louis Armstrong, Duke, Bobby Timmons, Miles, Coltrane. He had all this tapes.
The classics.
So that's how I grew up. I didn't plan to be a musician because I didn't know that this kind of way of living exists. My dad is a mathematician. My mother is engineer. So, but listening to jazz, it was just a voice of freedom and incredible power of the music.
Wow.
And that sort of like, I think that was a part of why Soviet Union collapsed. The jazz helped. Because
well, I don't know. I know Willie Conover and all that.
Willis Conover.
You know,
every night, 11:15 to midnight.
A lot of people don't know about Willis Conover,
yes.
but he was a very important man.
Very important. He played the new stuff and old stuff, and every program started with Duke Ellington, Uptown, something like, Take the A Train, the famous beginning solo of him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. So now, you had mentioned earlier about building a bass.
Yes. I just heard Peter Brandler talking about this, and when my dad was he was a piano player, so he tried to give me a piano lesson when I was 6. And the way he taught me one lesson, I didn't want to hear about music. Completely.
It's never good when the
never good.
Teach.
So when my daughter never wanted to teach her, go over some homework, yes, but never teach her, because it's weird when the dad is saying something, So he tried to give me one lesson, and that turned me off until I was like 13.
Oh, I can dig it. Yeah.
And I was interested in playing guitar at that time because like my kids were like, everybody's into
everybody wanted to play the guitar. Of course.
So and my dad played piano and guitar, and I wanted him to teach me guitar, and he said, no, just play these 4 strings, play bass with me. And he wrote me simple lines. He was like more like a sort of traditional Basin Street Blues, Lazy River, that kind of material.
Oh, so can't beat that.
Yeah, so he wrote me like half notes, and I was like playing on the guitar on the 4th bass strings with the pickup, and I was playing with him. And then I would get tired of reading, and I would just like kind of randomly start to pluck the notes. And he said, "That's it. That's a walking bass."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you started, and then how did you get a bass?
Then I went to summer camp. I was playing volleyball, and they had a band. They had one of the coaches was a saxophone player.
Yeah.
And he said, we'll audition for the band. And he was opening for a bass, and there was electric bass, real bass there. Electric bass. When I saw it, oh man, this is like amazing. The strings, the fat strings. I mean, because I was playing like a guitar.
Right.
But there was another guy who had technique like crazy. I couldn't even be close. But he couldn't play with anybody. He couldn't read the chords.
Right. He could just move around the instrument. That's not music.
Yeah. So I kind of won this position because I already knew the C major, minor, whatever. So I was able to play it. So that's why after I came back from this playing electric bass, I said, "Oh, Dad, can I have this like electric bass or something?" And he said, "Okay, we'll build." He was one of those guys who could like build anything, like fix the television or make a pipe or like a stove.
Jealous of those people.
Stove in the house, like he built the stove.
I can't even screw in a light bulb.
Me neither. But he was one, so he was like, "Okay, let's build it." And we built it. It was very uncomfortable to play because the body turned out to be very small, and the neck was really long. And when you play, it was like always coming out of your hands. But that was my first bass.
But you played it, so that's great. Well, that it shows that it was in your soul, your DNA. You said, "I want to play music."
Definitely.
And you're pretty much a bass player.
Yes.
Bass players are like my favorite people to talk to and hang out because we're like, I joke around, but we're like the janitors, in music. We keep everything in line, but we never get any credit.
That's true.
But without us, if we don't do our job, the band is dying. So it's important, and I don't say that as a bad situation.
Yeah.
But so you have some CDs?
Yes. Over the years, my latest one.
I know you got a lot of CDs, but
yeah.
Show me a couple that are.
Well, the latest one I was playing with Anthony Wonsley for over 10 years in his trio. Wonderful, great musician and
great player.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure. And I recorded this album with him. It was his album, just in the middle of pandemic. And actually, there are 2 of my tunes on this album.
Oh, yeah, because I know that you're a good composer. You've written a lot of music.
Composing for me is like a hobby. I just love to do it. Like, it's for no reason, because there are so many great tunes, but I just love the process of just putting my hands on the piano and see, oh, I like this sound. Okay, what I can do after this or before that. That's how it is.
Yeah, that's how you create. That's how you create music, and it's great. So you have the Anthony Wansey record with let's see, Milton Suggs, yeah,
Chris Beck on drums.
Brandy. So wait, Brandy's a bass player.
Yeah, she's on a few tracks there too.
Wow. Oh, I see the special guest.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting. Show me another record.
Oh, this one is a meeting point. It was a joint project with a great Russian piano player whom I worked with. We worked together for many years, Andrei Kondakov. And here is our...
but that's an all-star band.
Yeah, we used to play at Smoke with this band quite a bit, like every so often, maybe twice a year or something, with Lenny White and Eric Alexander and Jim Rotundi or Alexei Pyagin.
Wow, I want to hear this. That's got to be a great CD. So, great. Now, I was going to ask you are you doing any traveling, or are you staying around New York? Or?
Both. Like this week, I go to Pittsburgh.
Oh, I love Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Do some traveling, but not much.
Right. Yeah, Pittsburgh. That's there's a lot of music.
History, incredible history,
and a lot of great players have come from there. Actually, this girl right here, Cheryl Bailey, she's a Pittsburgh girl.
I'm working with the Pittsburgh guy this Thursday, David Budway. And Ron Afif, too. I think they both are from Pittsburgh.
David. Now, David and I, have played together a lot.
Great musician,
He's an amazing pianist. He can
do anything.
He can play classical like a concerto.
Yeah, and he
knows. He can play jazz, and he sings.
And he knows all these Grateful Dead and
Beatles. Dead and the Beatles, and he owns a great jazz club, Maureen's Place. Yeah. Those of you watching the podcast, if you're in the Nyack area,
beautiful place,
called Maureen's Place, which he dedicated to his sister who had passed away, and it's one of my favorite. And you walk in the place. And they have a gorgeous grand piano. Do you know, I did the first gig there.
Is that right?
With David. I played the very first gig there.
It feels like a Europe. Like people were like listening, no noise, sound great, piano fantastic.
I said to David, I know you didn't do anything to get the sound in the room, but the acoustics are incredible. Yeah. Like everything sounds good in that room.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a wonderful thing. So I'm glad, you'll be playing there, and I know you're playing a lot of
No, I play with him at Carlisle this Thursday.
Oh, you're going to be right. He does that gig for many years. Oh, that's great. Yeah, wow. So anyway, anything you want to say about the bass or about
the bass?
Anything? Because we're pretty much at the end here.
I can say so. My first love in jazz was Ray Brown, who was Oscar Peterson Trio, and that's like as soon as I heard that, the record I had was the sound of the trio, which was one of my favorite, maybe because I was little, but it's great. It's like has incredible introduction, tricotism.
Yes,
they exchange like 8 bars. And then he plays Cadora's Blues, which is like 13 minutes B-flat blues, like straight up. Like
right.
Ray Brown plays incredible.
And I've got the transcription of that.
I did it myself. So.
That's an amazing solo.
Yeah.
And I love, that's like one of my favorite records.
Yeah. And then I heard Bill Evans and with Scott LaFar, and that blew my mind. I was like, oh, wow, this is stuff now. So I was in Scott LaFar.
That changed my life.
Yeah. And also Eddie Gomez was because of and then Eddie Gomez was playing with Chick Corea, steps ahead, So I was like kind of, and all the time Ron Carter was always on somewhere on the records, which was like incredible. Like my first was Bobby Timmons live in person.
I know that record very well.
Every note he plays, you can just like write it out. It's almost like it's written. It's not improvised. It's amazing record.
Yeah, amazing. It's funny. You and I have very much the same records that we love.
That's great to hear.
Right. Those are the ones that that I listen to so much when I was younger, and still go back to.
Right, absolutely.
They never get old.
No, never
I was
get
listening
old.
to the Bobby Timmons like a few months ago.
Never gets old.
And sometimes I still put on Waltz for Debbie or Live at the
Absolutely,
Vanguard,
absolutely.
Or what's the other one? Portrait and Jazz.
Uh-huh.
I listen to all those.
Yes.
So anyway, Dmitri, so great to hang with you and talk with you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
So I'm so happy that you would come here to this. But the name, I don't know if I listed earlier. The name of this podcast is called Bass in the Corner.
Uh-huh.
Which, let's face it, when we get to the gig, what do we look for? A corner to put the bass.
To put the bass. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so
I
much.
just want to mention, because this is so important for me, when I came to New York, I got a chance to study with Ron Carter, who was, from that time, he was my hero. And here he was, I couldn't believe that I could actually meet him. Sheila Jordan, she helped me to do it because I met her in Germany. And she said, when you come to New York, call me, I will give you Ron's number. Wow. And I left him a message, and then I found on an answering machine, he's calling me back, saying, if you want to study with me, go to City College. And that's how I went to City College and got my master's there studying with
Congratulations. Ron. Okay, thank you, Dmitri.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, thank you.